Hey guys, Count97 Stow 171 back with another ATS video. I'm going to do a little modification of our new truck, the one we just built right there, Kenworth T680. The last load we hauled with it, the first load we hauled with it, noticed not really performing that great. Power and torque numbers similar to the International LT. Spent quite a bit of time yapping with ChatGPT and kind of confirmed that it's a combination of the X12 engine that's in there and the transmission gear ratios available. It's a couple small, it's versus the LT International, which has 14 gears and similar power and torque, but lower end torque. This truck has a little bit less torque and higher RPM, and it's got two less gears to go through. We were noticing even hauling a kind of average load that it was having to start in first gear. And it was kind of slow, actually, compared to the LT. ChatGPT said this is probably going to be the case no matter what engine, that the International LT is kind of one of the best trucks in the game as far as acceleration and power and torque delivery. It's just a super great match with that S13 engine and the T14 transmission. They really pair together well. And also mentioned that it's perhaps a bit exaggerated versus real life. So we're going to try to fix that a little bit, at least make this truck a little more drivable. I do like the engine. It's nice and quiet, but I went ahead and added in one of my mod groups, which is a PACCAR powertrain group. It adds some other engines, but also a big selection of transmissions that are stock, that are factory components, and they're listed as factory components in the game. So we're not going to go too far off the path. I don't want to throw some big, gigantic, unrealistic engine in it. We're going to try to keep it relatively real. So I'm already at the repair shop here, and I kind of looked through this a little bit. So the stock engine is, I have a bunch in here. This is the PACCAR powertrain group. We're going to unselect all of these. So this is what we have right now. We've got this Cummins X12 efficiency. Power and torque numbers are pretty similar to what we had in the International LT. It's a little bit less. Transmission is this PACCAR 12, 264 ratio, 12 speed. And we've got pretty balanced, heavy, normal cargo numbers here. Those are not terrible looking, but just compared to the International LT truck we just came out of, truck feels a little slow. So if we add in, we notice this, it's a 264 ratio, so we want to keep that in mind. On the PACCAR powertrain pack, there's a ton more varieties of this PACCAR 12, but there's also a PACCAR 18. So we said, what did we just said, 264 ratio? Yeah, it's a 264 ratio. So we'll stick with that, but go to an 18 speed. That'll give us more gears. So there we go, 264 with the retarder, 18 speed. Let's just see if there's a different one. No, that's it. So we'll stick with that. Now, if you take a look, if you watch what happens over here when we change that, significant improvement in both of these because there's more gears to choose from. So let's select that. Then I'll have to decide, do we want to change the engine or not? I want to keep the engine. I want to keep it as a efficiency engine, about 450 horse and about 17 or 1800 pound-feet. That's pretty realistic. Let's see what's available. And it's all PACCAR stuff. ChatGPT mentioned that the PACCAR MX-13 might pair a little bit better with that PACCAR transmission. So here's one that's 455 horse, 1800 pound-feet, and it bumped the normal cargo up a little bit, reduced the heavy cargo a little bit, which is kind of weird. Yeah, see how it went? Flip-flopped a little bit there. I do kind of like this engine because it's pretty quiet. And I think given the appropriate gear ratio, perhaps it would work better. So we might just change the transmission first and give that a whirl. I've already got a load selected for us to do, which is in the description there. So I'm a little bit hesitant to make a change. You know, on the engine side. With peak torque at 900 revs. We might be better to go with a slightly taller ratio. I think 264. No, there's a 226. 264, 239. Makes the heavy cargo worse. I mean, I kind of like to have these two more balanced. 308. A little closer to that. But 264 was the stock differential ratio. Let's make sure that that engine is selected, because I think we had it unselected. So now let's look at the transmission. Let's see. So 264. Okay, maybe we go 279. Those are pretty equally balanced. Too much that direction. So let's do that. Let's balance that out. It's kind of a short ratio for 900 RPM torque, but it is a pretty small engine. So we'll stick with that change first. Also, it's less expensive to change the transmission. And if we really don't like it, then there are some other engine options. There's a ton of engine options available for this truck. So let's do this. We'll start with that. And just see, let's just make sure I didn't screw something up. Yeah, 279. Man, I'd really like to go. I really would like a taller ratio with a peak. Wait, is this thing 1,000? It's 1,000 revs, not 900. Okay. Well, let's give it a whirl. We can actually go back and forth. These are all the same price, so it doesn't really affect us much to go back and forth. So let's do that. And we got some nice rain going on here. Already filled the tanks up before I took a sleep break. Lights are on. High beams are on. Wipers. Need to... Oh, we need to take a look at the freight market. I already had a load picked, but it's this one here. Oh, we might be able to do that. It's a little bit longer. Pays a little bit more. Nah, let's do that one. It'll take us through Texas and then up. It should just be I-35. Let's do that. They're both about the same weight. Actually, it's a little heavier, so it'll give us a good indication of how this truck will work with this load. And it's a little bit shorter, too. In case it sucks, it won't be too long. So let's set the destination.
Time to get the job done.
Time to get the job done. See, now we're starting, well, we're bobtail. Of course, we're starting off in 5th gear.
Turn right. Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Holy shit, we're 30 miles from the pickup location. I didn't realize that. It should be okay. At 70, we're turning a little over 1,000 revs. So, I don't know about you, but the engine seems really quiet to me. I noticed that when I started the game, that when I started the truck up, it seemed...
Keep left.
Maybe it's just because it's low load. I don't know. Turbo noise seems normally loud. Yeah, when I first started the truck, I thought, what the hell is going on? So I actually exited the game, came back in, and then it seemed better. Like when I would start the truck up, you couldn't hear anything. There was hardly any engine noise at all. And the game did something really weird today. I tried to load up the Be My tracker, and it just wouldn't load. It didn't do anything. I ended up uninstalling it and reinstalling it. Why am I keeping left? Oh. Uninstalling it and reinstalling it, and then it worked. Tried another game, and it took a long time to load the first time.
And then exit right.
And I couldn't get ATS to load at all. It just sat there and sat there. It just said loading, and it wasn't doing anything. And after the third time, I rebooted the computer. It still didn't work.
Keep left, and then turn left.
And after like the third time, it finally loaded. Kind of strange. So we'll see what it sounds like with a load behind it. When we first built this truck, we did notice that it was a pretty quiet engine. ChatGPT thought that the Cummins X12 and X15 would be a slightly more efficient engine than the PACCAR, but that the PACCAR might pull better. I'm kind of looking for a balance of efficiency and power. But, you know, after talking with ChatGPT, it kind of made me think that we're not going to do a lot better than that International LT truck as far as performance inside the game. But this truck is much easier to drive in-game because of the digital mirrors. It's just easier.
Right.
It's easier to see everything. That's really the only thing I don't like about the international
Turn
truck
right.
is I don't like the mirror placement. It's a little too far that way. For in-game. Real life wouldn't matter. You'd see it in your peripheral vision, no problem. But in the
Get
game,
ready to turn left.
this truck's easier to drive.
Turn left. Get ready to turn right.
I do have a Z-Mods Cummins
Turn right.
X15 pack. I've used that in my other profile, and that engine is really it's really clackety sounding. That was an X15 though, not a X12.
It's all over now.
It's all over now. So, truck. Take job.
Let's do this.
Okay. It's back behind us. It's kind of strange. I mean, you can barely hear the engine running here. Like, I can't even tell what engine speed it's turning or anything. It's a little weird. I don't really want to adjust the engine volumes in game because then it affects everything else.
Drive safe.
Alright, guys. So let us... We want that one. We want to reset it. We got plenty of fuel. We're in gear. It's interesting. See, again, it's starting off in first gear. Maybe it's just a behavior of this particular trans. I'm surprised we are in realistic automatic, right? With smart shifting. Normal power mode. Weird. I wonder why it's doing that.
Turn left.
One, 4, 7, 9.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Why?
Get ready to turn left.
It just seems like there's just a continuous
left.
humming sound. Like, regardless of engine RPM.
Turn left.
Still feels
Turn left.
Still feels like it's struggling more than it should with just 40,000 pounds. But, you know, again, ChatGPT said that international LT is significantly exaggerated in the game. Something about the torque curves kind of makes the game physics make it drive better than the numbers would indicate. It's even like 600 revs, it sounds the same. Well, maybe we need to put one of those X15s in here, if anything, just to get a better engine sound. It's nice having it be quiet, but if it's so quiet that you can't hear the engine really at all, it kind of detracts from the realism. Come on, shift.
Keep left.
Like, why are you not shifting? I don't know. Like, why are you not shifting? Finally, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we may just end up, you know, we'll drive this truck because we enjoy it, but it may not be as efficient, or we may have to put a much bigger engine in it. It is a pretty small engine. Okay, I'm assuming it's an X12. I'm assuming it's 12 liter. So maybe we'd be better off to run an X15, even with the same power output. So we'll take a look at that and see. I do have a Cummins X15 mod group from Z Mods. It's a much louder engine. It's much more clackety at the high RPM. It sounds like it's got a rod knocking or a lifter failing. It's pretty loud. It's supposed to be recorded from a real truck. That's how Z Mods does their sound packs. In the description, it'll tell you, you know, engine recorded at 100 RPM increments in a particular truck with a particular exhaust system. Either that, or we could try one of the PACCAR engines. There is a 510 horsepower PACCAR available. But this truck it's very pleasant to drive. I love the mirrors. It makes everything so easy to drive in game. I could just see the edge of that physical mirror. The digital mirror is right in my plain sight. I don't even really need to have the UI mirror up, because I can see the real mirror right over there. It's kind of nice. So what we're going to do is... Alright, dude. Yes. That's the radar crews doing that. So, super nice driving truck. Really is. Really like the interior. The nav screen's better. Fuel efficiency is nice, but it really only affects us driving the truck. And as you build your wealth as a trucking company, you know, you can concentrate more on power and performance and sound and all the things that you care about besides just fuel efficiency. So kind of my thought process is we're gonna just slowly build the company.
Finding a new route.
We'll do some loads with this one, and when we make enough money in this truck to buy another truck, we'll rinse and repeat. We'll send this one off to be a company truck for somebody to drive, hire another driver, and see, we're 5,000 pounds under gross, so 4,000. So we'll like I said, we'll drive this until we make enough to buy another rig, and then we'll try that one out. And do the same, and then buy another truck, and just keep doing that. And then maybe at the end of that, we'll figure out what truck do we like overall the best. Could even, you can get a garage someplace, a 5-spot garage, and just put all your own personal trucks, in that garage, and then you can just rotate through whatever you like. In my Legends profile, I've got, I don't know, 15 or at least 15 trucks of varying types and several of each. Shit, we need that right lane.
Keep right, and then exit right.
It's not that one, it's this one. Yeah,
Exit
north.
Right.
Like when we go under these, you can hear the exhaust pretty loud. We're definitely going to do something with this engine. I don't know what, but we're going to do something. What is this thing going to want us to do? Okay, so we're going to go 30 west and then 35 north. Okay.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Then bear left, and then keep left.
Keep left.
One other option might be, and I did this in my legacy profile, and maybe it'd be what we do.
Right.
North is not worry about the automated transmissions. There was I have an Eaton Fuller transmission pack that's not in here right now.
Turn right.
There was a version of this truck that I put together with a Z-Mods X15 efficiency engine and a Eaton. It wasn't an Ultra Shift, it was something else. And I was getting close to 10 miles per gallon in that with good performance, rather than like an automated manual transmission. It is an automated manual transmission, but it's an Eaton Fuller, not a Packard. So maybe it's just not the right blend in the game. Why did it downshift? Like, it's just not... The intelligence combination in this engine transmission do not seem as good as the International. That one, it seemed to keep its torque where it needed to be better. Like, this thing, it could easily go to the next gear at this point. Even if I get off the throttle, it doesn't upshift. And now it downshifted when it didn't need to. There we go, finally. It seemed like in the International truck, that kind of waffling back and forth and shifting didn't happen as much. Shit like that can be really annoying in game. You can go to a manual shifter, that's one way to prevent that, but... So, we'll do some mods. I kind of wanted to stay with base game as much as possible, but...
Keep left.
If we can't, then we can't. Let's see if there's a... Is there a repair shop near the destination? There's a thing we can drive right there. Yes, there is. There's a repair shop right there. So we could drop this off, then go over here and play with the truck a little bit more. It just seems like a combination of kind of gutless and also not great efficiency. But it may just be that we're really, really spoiled by that the LT International.
Keep left.
And that may be unrealistically good, and unrealistically good too. ChatGPT kind of lended itself. It did kind of say that in game that truck is kind of epic. But it's also in real life pretty amazing. The good thing about this truck is there's a bunch of engine options available for it. So if we decide, you know, there's no possibility of making it really efficient, the other possibility is to just make it really powerful and not worry about efficiency at all. And just enjoy the truck for its ease of driving. So, but we'll try. We'll see if we can match it up with a... Look at that. There's a car stuck in the middle of a... Did you see that? I think when we drove through here before, we saw that one other time, that phenomenon, a car hovering in the middle of the air like that. I don't know if it was right here. Why do I gotta pull in? We already went through Texas. You know what? I'm just gonna bypass it, guys. Oh, because it's not Texas. We're going into Oklahoma. We're going into Oklahoma. That's why. Don't do that. You'll get it. You'll get a ticket and a big ass fine. Yeah. See, we're at 80 miles an hour. We're way over. We're at, well, 1,300 revs isn't terrible. This engine just kind of has a continuous rumbly sound where you really don't hear the RPM change that much. Got the boost gauge over there. No, I'm gonna be a little fast.
Keep left.
We'll say it's very quiet. ChatGPT did confirm on the International LT that the S13 engine was co-developed with Scania. It uses a lot of the technology they use in it's a similar engine that they use in Europe. It's related to Navistar. I don't know if it's Navistar or Navstar or something like that. It's a conglomerate of several companies, but Scania is part of it, or a member, or is that co-owned or something. Totally different philosophy. One that's it said was kind of returning. We had come from, you know, big EGR coolers, variable vane turbos, lower compression, trying to get emissions in compliance with then after treatment systems. But the philosophy is beginning to switch back to the way it used to be in the late 90s, where you separate those two out, and that's definitely Scania's philosophy. Make the engine as thermally efficient as possible, maximum power, maximum efficiency. Don't worry about the pollution from the engine. Let the after treatment system handle that. And no variable vane. You have to have variable vane if you have high EGR, because you've got to have a way to control when you're bypassing that much exhaust. But if you're not bypassing exhaust and it's all going through the turbo, you don't need the variable vane. You just have to size the turbo appropriately. It was really interesting and very high compression. It was 20... It mentioned it's... might be like 24 to 1 compression in that engine. So you have very high efficiency, very high torque, very low soot, but very high nitrous oxide. So they can run a little bit less particulate filter, but they have to use more urea injection to control the NOx output. But they handle that in the after treatment.
Keep left.
So, pretty interesting philosophy, and other manufacturers are beginning apparently to start moving back that direction. What did it mention?
Keep
Very,
left,
very high
and then
compression,
turn left.
extremely high fuel injection
Turn left.
pressure. A few other things that it mentioned were kind of the goals for that engine, and it works. Why did you downshift? That might be the negative of the 18-speed transmission, is that it hunts more because it has more gears to hunt with. We'll see. I think the next truck we'll build will be a Cascadia. You know, those are 3, you know, Tupperware torpedo style trucks. Maybe a Volvo. I don't really like,
and then exit right.
in game. I don't really like the instrumentation in the Volvo that much.
Exit right.
But we should try to build one of every one. You know, and then maybe go back to a W900 or, oh, we got the green light.
Turn left.
We're going to take it. So what we're going to do
right,
is we're going to finish
and
this
then
delivery,
turn right.
go back across the street, and modify the truck. Boy, that is a bright color.
Turn right. Get ready to turn left. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
Too far to skip parking. That's a new notification. It's going to be like right there. I wonder why they have 4 axles on the back of that trailer. I don't really understand why that would be required. You know, why do you need 4 axles? I wonder if it'll let me lift. Yeah, it's too heavy. Wrong way. 2 feet in and I already fucked that up. 'Cause I... did it again. Oh, dang it. You got to concentrate on the space between the 2 sets of tires, because that's where the pivot point's going to be. Still. And it'll pivot worse with a multi-axle trailer like that. The center pivot point is in between those tires, but it's not quite. There's a lot of friction when it comes to... I royally fucked this up, and this is about as easy as it gets. I'm kind of tired. I've been up all day. God, man, what a fucking... what a shit parking job. And again, in game, why would you park a tanker at a dock? Makes no sense. I wish they would fix that. It really hurts the realism. I know. I guess it could be a park just up. Hey, stick it there for right now. The yard jockey will pick it up and put it where it needs to be later. I guess that makes sense. Still a terrible parking job, but I'm done, guys. Alright. Trailer unhooked. Alright, let's go across the street and play with the truck a little bit. Yeah, see, to me, the engine just sounds... Here, let me... like, there's no... I don't know, the engine speed doesn't match the sound or something. I don't know. I don't know whether because it's just so quiet, or if I'm still having some kind of weird sound issue. I don't know. We're gonna go. It seems like outside the truck, you can hear it. Yeah, I know that was a red light. Don't do that in real life. Yeah, don't do that in real life either. Freightliner dealer. Cool. That's one I think we did not have in our list yet. Which will confirm that our next truck will be a Freightliner. Alright, guys. Let's take a look in here and see what we can do with this. I do have an. There is this. This is the one from Z Mods. There's this one. It's really expensive. That's the one nice thing with the mod engines is they're. Oh, those are kind of expensive too. See, there's a X15 efficiency. This is the one I was thinking about trying. The PACCAR powertrain group. These are like half the price. But I did use this X15. I did use one of these, and it is efficient. I was averaging like 10 miles per gallon. Um, and they have a ridiculous like 750 horse one too. So anything you'd want in here. But let's keep it. This is the one that I use though. This X15 efficiency. Let's take a look at how these numbers change over here. Well, they balanced down a little bit. Okay. And I think I was using the Eaton Fuller pack. Okay, so we need to exit out of here because I have to, yes, I have to go into the title screen. And I think it will stay in the stream. Yes, it does. Okay. These are all the mods in case you guys haven't ever seen this. Most of these are not in here right now. Like some of these are really cool. These Detroit 60 series. I'm sorry, that's a 60 series, but these Detroit two-stroke engines are pretty cool. But the one we're looking for is the Eaton Fuller pack. You get cat cabs. This one is that mega pack cabin accessories. Honestly, I never use it. It's like shit dangling from your ceiling. I mean, it's cool. It does let you customize your truck a lot, but this is a neat transmission. This Vanta, it's 22 speed with really fast gear changes, but you can only use it in certain trucks. And it's kind of, I've never heard of one ever being used. You would use it in like maybe super heavy haul, but I've never seen it. There's a Cascadia mod for putting digital mirrors in a Cascadia. Here's the one I was looking for, real Eaton Fuller transmissions. So we add that in there. It doesn't need to be at the top priority. I'll just stick it right here. Hit confirm changes, continue career. And then that Eaton Fuller pack will be available to us in that repair shop. I think that's what we're going to want to do. It'll be a little slower to shift, probably. Although that PACCAR transmission seems a little slower to shift anyway. I don't think it'll really matter. Okay. Hearts in Bloom event. Okay. So now in this configurator, we can disable, take that. We'll take this 450 efficiency. And then now we will go in and undo these and do real Eaton Fuller. And if you look in here, there's like 10,000 varieties of transmissions. You have this Ultra Shift. That's pretty good. That is an automated manual. That's pretty good. This is an Eaton RTLO. That is more of a, that's a true manual transmission. 16+2. That's pretty good too. Little more delay and shift. These shift way faster than this when you're in automatic mode. And then the one that I find that's even more advanced, this EXDP. There's a P version, and then there's a non-P version. The P version is the professional. It stands for pro, I think. So this is the one that I find it's newer than the Ultra Shift. So we're gonna want, what do we have? 264 ratio now. We'll take a look at this and see what happens. The thing that's nice about this Eaton Fuller is if you look at these, there's huge ratios retarder, non-retarder. Theirs are in here too. But they've got just a massive array all the way, like 583. They got huge ratio choices, 411 in every configuration. There's just a ton of differential choices to really help you fine tune engine and trans for your needs. So we're at 260. I think we're at 264 ratio approximately. So we're going to find, and this goes all the way down to 215. I might not even be at 205 in here. I'm just looking at this number here as I scroll. No, 215 was the tallest. Yeah, see if we'll pick that. Well, let's 264 is what we have now. So let's watch this over here and see what happens when we pick that. See how the normal cargo went up, and it went up more than the heavy cargo went down. So we could even pick, well, and I think we were at 279 ratio, so it didn't change. But I think it shifts more consistently. Let's see what it does with 215. Yeah, see, the normal cargo went way up. There's a 226 too. I've used that. Interesting. 250. 264. Almost perfectly even. Be interesting to see in the other profile. I don't remember what differential ratio I picked. I want to say 264. Or even, see, there's a bunch of just two. You can go 264, 264, 253, 247, 239, 228. You have just so much choice in what you want to do. I think we're going to do that. I'd like to get the high-speed RPM down just a bit. So I think we're at 279 currently. Let's take a look. We should be able to see what we have currently. Should be checkboxed. It'll be actually, it's not in that group. It's in this PACCAR group. It should be in here. You should have a checkbox next to it. The one that we're currently using. Maybe not. Maybe because we already selected it. Oh, there it is. Thought it would have a checkbox next to it. There's so many though. You gotta like scroll, 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 scroll. There we go. So we're at 279 currently. The green check tells you what you have in the truck right now. 279. So we are going taller. So we're there, which makes sense because it was basically flat. So let's go a little bit more that way. Get the RPM down a little bit more. We've already got our engine selected. I'm going to do this one. Confirm order. Let's see if there's any service that needs to be done. No, we're fine there. And then back to the truck. Now we definitely will hear. See how it sounds kind of rattly? don't love that. But so we're just going to pull over and I'll call it the end of the video. What the hell? Oh, sometimes that happens. You'll try to go into a parking lot and it's actually not open. Doesn't matter. We'll just end it right here. So, you know, like I said, this engine is a little more. Actually, won't let me rev it up any more than that. All right, guys, that'll be it for the stream. I might do another one here with a load. Let me get that figured out, and we'll see if we do another one. I'm a little tired today, so I'm not sure we will, but we can at least try it and see if this made an improvement. Also, in the meantime, I'll go back to my other profile and find out what the transmission ratio I used was, and if it's different than this, I may make that change. You guys don't gotta see that. You already saw how that works, and then we'll try to do a load with it. The truck I was using in my other profile was a full sleeper, bigger and heavier, so theoretically this should be more efficient. All right, guys, that'll be it.